It's a very good morning to Rafael van der Vaart. Morning, Rafael.
Good morning, Rafael. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm good.
Good.
Great.
Rafael, you played with so many great players at your various clubs. Who were the players that you look back on and think, I loved playing with them? Who are the players who stand out in your mind?
Of course, I have to mention Ronaldo. That was I played 1 year in Real with him, and then you see from really close how special he is, how much effort he puts in every day. I was not a player like that. I also like to go out. I, enjoy life more. In my point of view, that's enjoy life. But he was enjoying to be in the gym and training every day 2-3 times and recovering and scoring one goal. He wanted to score the next one. And for me, because I also have a son, he's 18 now and he plays for Ajax under 19s. And I always give Ronaldo as an example because he was never satisfied, never. And, when I scored one goal after 10 minutes, then I thought, okay, I have a good game and we just enjoy now. And he was not. When he made 3, he wanted to make 4. And that was a big quality. And he's still doing it. Imagine on his age.
Well, that's a really interesting thing you say, Rafael, and I want to ask you and pick you up on it if I may. Do you think the difference between the excellent players, the good players, and the brilliant players is mental? Do you think it's in the head?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you ask me, who had a better technique, me or Ronaldo, I would say myself.
Yeah.
First touch, passing. But yeah, he was so fit and so focused on scoring goals and winning things. And I won. I just went on the pitch, and when it was 3-3 or 4-4, I preferred that than an ugly 1-0 win.
Yeah.
And I think that's mental. Is the way of thinking is the biggest difference.
Rafa, stay with us. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll get Rafa's thoughts on, well, all sorts of things. Virgil van Dijk's contract situation, Liverpool, how Arne Slot's done, maybe the derby as well tonight in the Champions League.
Plenty.
Between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. Lots and lots to talk about. Remember, you can watch Marching Powder starring Danny Dyer exclusively in cinemas from this Friday. So, Rafael, of course, obviously, we talked about you in terms of Tottenham, but you were at Real Madrid as well. Real play Atletico in the Champions League this evening. You know what those games are like. What do you expect the atmosphere to be like?
Yeah, that's a fantastic game. I think it's really big inside the city. When I played that kind of games, it was not in the Champions League but the normal league, and it's something special. The whole week they talk about the game, and I think they also now quality-wise really on almost the same level. Atletico was a really good team, like playing as a team, and Real individual better. So it's going to be really, really interesting. And I have to say I have a lot of respect for Simeone, who's there already for how many years? 15 or something?
Yeah, incredible. It's funny, Rafa. I was going to say to you, mate, out of all the teams left in the competition, I actually think that Atletico might have been the one team that Real didn't want to play for obvious reasons. It been a derby game, and as you mentioned, Diego Simeone gets the best out of his teams.
Yeah, it's something, I don't know, it's something special, because I also saw the game at Bernabeu when they played them, and they in Holland we say ugly to play against, because you always have the feeling, we are better, but they don't concede goals. They have a fantastic defense. Then, of course, in the attack they can do something. So difficult to beat, and especially in 2 games. So it's going to be an interesting stage.
Well, I know that Atletico wanted to sign you at one stage, didn't they, before you went to Real? But look, let's move on a little bit. Can we talk about the situation at Liverpool, particularly the situation, Rafa, involving Virgil van Dijk, who there's a bit of a standoff over his contract at the moment. He's 33. Certainly, in terms of the Premier League, he looks as good as ever. Do you see him staying at Liverpool? Are you surprised that Liverpool haven't tied him down already?
Yeah, I'm surprised, because I think that I don't know him really good, but when it seems like he doesn't want to leave. 33 years old, but the way he plays, his vision, I always say after the game, his shirt, you can put it back because he never sweats.
Yeah.
It looks so easy. Real leader, so I can't see him play somewhere else. So I think he should stay, and they should do it quick.
Where do you see him, Rafa, in terms of the great Dutch players, particularly in defence? I mean, I go back to Koeman, but I go back to guys like Ruud Krol, who I thought was a magnificent footballer. Where do you hold Van Dijk in that respect?
That's difficult because we have a different generation.
Yeah.
And quality-wise and the way he plays, I would say maybe the best. But at the end, you also have to win titles with the national team. And Ronald Koeman won 88. He won the Champions Leagues. Now, Ruud Krol, I mean, I have no word for that because he was amazing.
Magnificent.
A role model. And he was really like the typical Dutch defender.
Yeah.
And Van Dijk is when you are so many years the captain of Liverpool, that means also something. So as a leader, personality also for the national team. I always say as a joke, because I don't want the defenders where I played with in 2010 when we lost the final. But when we played with Van Dijk in the defense, then I think we had a really good chance to be world champion. Let's say it like that.
Well, they've got a good Dutch foundation at Liverpool, haven't they? With Cody Gakpo and Ryan Gravenberch as well. Are you surprised how easily Arne Slot has fitted in there?
Gravenberch? No, I'm not surprised, because I have to say that I think that that Liverpool system and what Klopp did as a team, that it stands. The basic is there. New coaches coming, maybe some slight changes. Then it's easier to fit players in. But I have to say, when I come back on Gravenberch, when he was playing for Ajax, I always said that potential. He has everything to the best midfielder in the whole world. And then he made a wrong choice. But you never know. You go to a wrong club, Bayern Munich, come on the bench. And then you also need to be a bit lucky that the Dutch coach come to Liverpool and put you as a starting player. That has to do with luck. But at the end of the day, he also shows every game how good he is.
I mean, they've done wonderfully for Liverpool. I want to ask you about another player, because obviously you made the move into English football and you made it very successfully. Joshua Zirkzee has gone to Manchester United and has struggled like mad at the moment. Do you sympathise with him? How difficult is it to make that move?
It's difficult to say, because I think his quality as a striker, his potential is wow. But his mentality is, the way he played, I think that in England, they're not a big fan of that. So, and I mean, sometimes he lose a ball, he tried to do a back heel. But I have to say, I saw the other day the game for the FA Cup against Fulham. And then he made some really, really good impact on the game, the second half. So, and he's working hard. I see a different Zirkzee. It's not there yet, but they have to be patient. But if you compare him to Højlund plays every game. In my point of view, I think he scored maybe 1 or 2 goals, but works his ass off and runs and fight and blood here. And Zirkzee is a different type, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't work like him.
Yeah.
So, but in England, they love more player that plays like Højlund than Zirkzee.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.